Radiant Black. This is the current, I don't want to say like next big thing at Image, but I think currently this is setting itself up to be the next big superhero universe. It's a new story, a new series from Kyle Higgins. If you know Kyle, he's done some great work, some fantastic work on Power Rangers, and he did some great stuff with Darkhawk. He is setting himself up to make this new franchise, this new universe of these cool characters, these colorful costumes called Radiant Black. There's 12 issues out at the time of this recording, I do believe, and this is going to be a non-spoiler review. Basically, the reason I want to talk about this now and kind of jump into this world is because he's setting up a big crossover event. There's going to be the next event in comic books. It is called Supernova, Supermassive or something. And I wanted to just read the current stuff of Radiant Black because it's something I put off and I was like, I should read this, you know? As a comic book fan, I'm always interested in the next big superhero universe. We don't get them anymore. You know, the eras of Valiant, they're still going strong, and Invincible's still not really going anywhere. We don't have that next big push in comic books for the next big universe. Radiant Black seemed like it was going to be that. And I liked it. I didn't love it. I think these issues felt very classically superhero-ish, which is kind of cool. There is some stuff in the earlier issues that flips it on its head, like the reveal that some characters maybe aren't going to be the actual main character in this story. That's kind of a cool thing to see, because we don't get that often in these comic books. When we're doing the superhero origin story, it's very one note, it's very designed to be one thing. But because we live in a post-MCU and post-franchise era, we can kind of jump around and tell these stories faster, and that might be something that I didn't really particularly enjoy when it came to this book, was it starts off really slow, and I think that first issue really built up this world. It's like, here's our lead character, he's gone through some hard times, he has to go back home, he's living with his parents, things are not going his way. Then suddenly, switch, there we go, he's a superhero now, the world's accepting of it, more heroes like him are popping up, which I guess works because we should be used to this by now. Invincible did it, The Boys is doing it, we have these things in the world, and we should be okay with it. I just think personally I was hoping this was just going to be a more distilled version of that, because reading his Darkhawk book, it was just a quiet book, you know? This was just it's quiet for a second, then it's loud, then it keeps going, and it doesn't really slow down from there. Which isn't a bad thing. There is a Power Rangers feel to that, and I think that's really cool. The whole idea where it plays with space is a really interesting thing, and I gotta say, he can really build a world quickly, which is kind of a good thing, especially when we are in this post-MCU era, when you just want all of your stuff. I say post-MCU like it's a bad thing. I'm just there are characters that have to be here now because we have to do certain things, and that's cool. We introduce a lot of the other Radiants, and they all have their own personalities and their lives, and we do, flesh that out a little bit more, which does make sense to me, and I like that. But I do think the main characters who are associated with Radiant Black, I'm not going to spoil anything, just because I think this is how you should do it. This is the great kind of reveal and a great kind of motivation for our main character of Radiant Black that I'm like, that was not something I expected. I had somebody tell me offhandedly before that was going to happen, but I'm like, this is a really good thing. If you're reading this book week to week, that's a great reveal. It's a great motivation that does some cool stuff in terms of the book. So I thought seeing that and having that be portrayed in this book was a really great idea. It did a lot of cool stuff there. It does explore the history in a big way. It does have, the Power Rangers grid feel where it's hey, here's the grid, here's everything, we're going to learn about whatever, yabba dabba do. That's okay. When you're kind of homaging some of that stuff, I'm fine when it becomes a main central part of the story, because what else is it going to be? That has to be there for it to actually feel like it's being a part of the thing it's talking about. So that's cool. The artwork does look really nice. It does switch off when we get some other artists to do certain issues of the book. Sometimes we're doing more colorful stuff. There's a beautiful book, I think towards the later half of the run. It's somewhere towards the end. I can't remember which one it was, where the colors are just really dark and black and it's outlined in this beautiful way. I'm like, that's what I want to see from this. That's the kind of stuff that I think works really well. It's beautiful, it's strong, it's doing some really cool concepts with the idea of colorful characters. I thought that was cool. But then there's other points in the book where I'm just I get it. This makes sense to me. I see where you're going with this. These beats work. These characters are clearly connected to this way. There's an intrinsic connection here. And that kind of stuff does bog down the starting of a superhero universe. I will say one of the characters I really gravitated towards throughout the beginning of the book and the latter half of the book was Radiant Red. I think what he is doing with that character is really cool, and if I'm not mistaken, she's getting a mini-series or a side ongoing piece. I think she's a really fun character, and was definitely one of the things I really enjoyed seeing. I enjoyed her, I enjoyed all that, and well, I am kind of negative on some aspects of this book where I'm like, oh, it's predictable. Predictable works sometimes, and I think in this instance, it is predictable where it's going to be predictable, but the moments where it tries something new, it's really impressive and it's really cool. The fight scenes look great. The idea of the fight scenes are great, like why the villains are here, why the enemies are here. Everything with that works cool. And the down-to-earth human stuff, it works really well. And that to me is where Kyle Higgins really shines. He's getting like the personal, intimate, relations with these characters. And that reveal works really well for a story like this. I think if you are new to comic books, this is a great place to start. If you want like that invincible feel without like the violent, gory stuff, it's like you want your own kind of independent hero, not associated to the rest of the world, building his own lore. This is a great place to start with that. If you are a veteran to the comic book community and you're like, I need that fresh new thing that's kind of Power Rangers-esque and it has the nostalgia behind it, I do think Radiant Black is a great book to start reading and trying to get a new flavor for some stuff. It's a fun read, a creatively fun series, and I'm very curious to see where the ongoing is going to go. And there's going to be mini-series and spin-offs and all that. I will probably come back and maybe do some more non-spoiler reviews for the rest of the book. I can't justify myself doing reviews for each individual issue just because I feel I'm going to be very mixed on each one, and I don't have that much to say about it, but it's colorful, it's beautiful, the art is great, the writing is strong, the world is cool, and the costumes are instantly iconic, which is a really cool thing to see, and I think that's a really fun way to explore. So, Radiant Black, I do recommend checking it out. I think a lot of people are going to like it. So, Radiant Black, the current books that are out for this ongoing series, the entire 12 issues, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.